Hey, what's up? So I was definitely under the impression that we were streaming already, and I had gone on like this whole spiel about what I was going to talk about. Um, so over the next couple months, there are going to be some billions of cicadas that are hatched on the East Coast. This is a bug that burrows underground for 17 years. Well, I guess it burrows underground, lays eggs, and those eggs take 17 years to hatch. And so there's this cycle with them where every 17 years there's just a ton, literally many tons of these little animals come out. And every year there are some, but man, if you live on the East Coast of the United States this year, you're going to get lit up. Like, maybe some of you guys didn't or weren't around 17 years ago. Maybe you don't remember it. I happened to be, just my family and I took a vacation 17 years ago, happened to put us on the East Coast at the time. And I remember it because it's something you don't forget. Like, this is, like, you cannot walk outside without smashing bugs. Seriously, like, you, on the ground, like, you were going to go 2 months without walking outside barefoot. I guarantee it. It's going to be horrible. So I'm actually going back to the East Coast a couple of times over the next couple months for Civil War V in Richmond in 2 weeks, well, a week and a half. And then again in late May, my brother is graduating law school. And so I'm going to be out there again in D.C. And I will have the lovely experience of getting around through these billions and billions and billions of little bugs.
That'll be the real House of Cicada, right?
That will be the House of Cicada, yeah. It'll be crazy. So heads up for that.
You were saying that you haven't done this and it feels like a long time, right? That's how you started while we were not.
That's right. Let me transport myself back to 15 minutes ago. So it's been a little while since I've done this because what happened? Passover happened 2 Mondays ago, and then last week I happened to dislocate my thumb somehow, like right before the show, and I had to go to the whole situation of getting that fixed, etc. So it just was a couple of things came up, but hopefully now that'll start settling down and I will be able to get back to things like normal. I just mentioned that I'll be, or no, I guess I didn't, but I'll be in Texas this coming weekend for Texas Showdown. James and I both will. Hopefully when we come back, we'll be ready to do the show on Monday, because sometimes it is not the easiest to take a red eye out to some location, take a red eye back, or take a very early morning flight back, and then do a show again on Monday night. So we'll see, but hopefully we'll get it. We'll see. Yes. I like the jokes about the dislocated thumb. Many jokes to be had. It's true. In reality, all I was doing was closing my bag. I put my laptop in my bag after work, and just was like zipping it up, and it just no good reason, no good story, whatever. So today, I want to talk about Morrigan in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. This is a topic that I've talked about a few times because I personally find her really interesting. I think she's one of the most interesting characters in modern fighting games. I really like the way that she controls the screen. But what I want to talk about specifically today is following her soul fists and following her patterns. I know that when a lot of people watch, they just kind of dismiss it as being fireball spam, or they'll kind of stop talking about it, kind of stop paying attention even, and just view it as, there's a lot of stuff on screen, Morrigan is being lame, can this guy navigate a way around this? But that kind of devalues what's going on. Even some players take this point of view. That devalues it. It's a series of setups, it's a series of patterns that she throws out with very particular goals in a lot of cases. There are patterns to pressure people from far away. There are patterns to force somebody backwards. There are patterns to take advantage of somebody who has super jumped. There are patterns to, play defensively. There are lots of different things that he sets up, and I'm still figuring them out. I don't know all of them yet, but I do want to talk a little bit about what the ones that I've noticed are and kind of how to deal with those. Specifically, I'm going to be looking at a couple of matches, certainly one at least, depending on how much time we have. They're both from Final Round 16, which happened about a week and a half ago now, where Chris G ended up winning. In losers finals, he faced Filipino champ, who he defeated, and then in grand finals, he beat Flocker from coming back from losers. If you recall, he actually lost his very first match against Angelic. He had gotten a bye in the first round. Very first one that he actually played was Angelic, and he lost 3-0, including a perfect. But after that, he won something like 20 matches to get back and win the whole thing. And he did it using Morrigan, Doom, and Virgil. So I'm going to bring up the videos, or James actually, my lovely assistant, is going to bring up the videos in a little bit. But when we're watching this kind of stuff, I always want to talk about like how I watch these sort of videos. Yes, and he beat Fnatic too. Yeah. Yes, he did. Sort of. So when you see when you're trying to follow a certain character on screen, what I do is I follow that character literally. I look at that character. I kind of stop paying attention to her opponent, and I just look at her to see what she does. And I feel like, for the most part, certainly what I used to do with Morrigan was I stopped looking at Morrigan and I was just looking at the screen and seeing a lot of this. And kind of stopped paying attention as to what was going on. I think that's what a lot of people do. They look at the opponent's character and think, well, how is he going to navigate all these things coming around him? What's he going to do? But for the purposes of this, just try to pay attention to Morrigan herself. Try to pay attention to what's going on behind her. Notice maybe Doom calls. Try to look at where the angles that she's throwing are, or which ones she's throwing, all that kind of stuff. And think about, as this is going on, where is Morrigan on screen and where is her opponent on screen? Where is he moving? That is to say, is he moving already? Is he dashing already? Is he far away? What's he trying to, or where is he trying to be? Is he calling an assist? Where's the opponent moving? What does he expect the opponent to do? These are all things that he has to consider when he's playing, when Chris is playing. It's something that more Doom has to consider whoever she's used by, although only a couple of people have, as you've seen, have used her super well. But that is now changing, finally. Chris's goal in general is just to take up as many options of yours as he can. But the way that shows up is pretty different in some different matchups. So anyway, let's head over to the old match. Hey, all right. Oh yeah. So okay, this is losers finals. Got Filipino champ on the left there. You have Chris G on the right with Remix, and Neo talking with Ryan over on the left side.
Was this just a rule that they allowed coaches or something?
Yeah, it was. I heard about that. They explicitly allowed one person on the stage. So I guess this is who the two of them picked. I think it's interesting that Chris picked Remix. I know Remix is a smart dude when it comes to playing games. But I didn't know that he was still taking Marvel 3 serious. I guess. That's cool if so. Yeah, let's just... I forget how long it is until this thing actually gets going. It might be a little ways. Yeah, okay, it was a little ways. Okay, so let's actually just go back to a little bit before this. I'm going to be talking a little bit about it because it comes up, but the team choice that Filipino champ, and if we get to it, Flocker, use... not the best ones. Yeah, let's just get going. So it's Magneto, Doom, and Phoenix. Phoenix, I really think is a liability at this stage of the game against a lot of characters, and especially against this one. So, anyways, let's go back to the start. So think about what Magneto's options are. Right, he has the Disruptor at the bottom. He also has Doom Beam to try to kind of snipe assists and to get her if she's at the bottom. But he also has this mobility. He can go around a lot. He can get to the top of the stage pretty well. So already he's been pressured, and I'm going to be doing a lot of this time. But let's restart again. Okay. I just want to look at the setups that he's using, that Chris is using as Filipino champ is kind of flying at the top of the screen here. You can't see it that well, but considering what Magneto's options are, that is to say, this mobility that includes the ability to fly around at the top. Think about it from Morrigan's perspective. What does she want to do? I mean, she knows that she's not really going to hit you that much when you're at the top of the screen, so much better for her to, as I said, narrow all of your options down as best as she can. The way that she does that in this matchup, the way that Chris does that in this matchup, is to pressure. And so he's consistently trying to set things up. Again, let's just go back to the start. Start. It's going to be a lot of that.
No problem.
Yeah, it's cool. So notice this one that he uses. He just does a jump. He throws the two diagonal fireballs down. This is a way to set things up. It's kind of a shield in front of him. So go back again. Just notice that he sets up the two fireballs in front, Go back. It's a little bit further. Yeah, here we go. Fireball. Yeah, I mean, it didn't work out because he wanted to get Astral Vision underneath it. He ends up getting sniped, but that's the point of sending the 2 fireballs down, right? If 1 fireball is there, then Disruptor can get through, but if 2 fireballs are there, then not the case. So he tried to set it up like that. Now he has... So notice this one. This is something that he uses all the time. This is like a basic Morrigan pattern, which is to just throw like the jab fireball, fly cancel, and do the fierce fireball, which is the one that moves horizontally. It's a way to pressure if you think the opponent's going to stay on the bottom of the stage or has to. In that situation where he was, Magneto was already on the ground in such a way that he couldn't really get a jump going. There were missiles coming at the time, and so he set up this, horizontal thing, knowing that he had Magneto already in the corner. So against Doom, think about what Doom's options are, right? He doesn't really have the best full screen stuff. I mean, he can stay at the top of the screen. He can throw some kind of annoying projectiles in some matchups, but that really doesn't matter in this one. Well, I guess I didn't really get to talk that much about him, but whatevers. At this point, this match is basically done. Phoenix can't really take chip. Even if she turns X, there's really no way for her to come back now. But thinking again about taking up as many options as possible, the best thing to do against the Phoenix player is to just get in there. She doesn't really have get-off-me moves unless she uses super, but that means that she can't turn dark. So in each one of those matchups, Chris G's decision was to go in. There's going to be a lot of this. I think it's weird that people call Chris G a lame player when it comes to Morrigan. I feel like it's the opposite in a lot of matchups. I feel like he really goes in. He has a character with the mobility and the space control to just take up options as best he can. And in a lot of matchups, the best thing to do is to get in there. But between each one of these, by the way, there's a pretty big...
Oh, is there?
Yeah, as Filipino champ tries to struggle with, which set of characters he's going to go with. He's really... Look at that expression. He's really trying to think about this.
It's a murder face right there.
Right? So he goes with Hawkeye. Here, pause for a second. Hawkeye was thought to be maybe a Morrigan counter at the start. He has, okay projectiles across the screen. Gimlet is a way to knock her out of stuff if she's not able to fly cancel at the time. Those things are nice. But as you'll see here, he just has some major liabilities in this matchup that Chris G exploits really, really well using some important patterns. So let's start this up. Yeah, here it is. Watch the damage. That is so negligible. Okay, so watch. He jumps up, he throws one diagonal one, and he uses it to approach. So you see 2 of the most basic patterns right there. There's the one to cut off the bottom part of the screen and allowing him to approach. Remember, as those fly diagonal down, everything underneath them, to the extent that Hawkeye is behind them, is taken up. It's effectively precluding him from being in that zone. That allows her to get in. But go back. Watch for Hawkeye. You see he's in the air? Now, if he hadn't been in the air there, he actually... there was a hole under Morrigan at the time. You know what I mean? She had... Here, watch.
Right there.
Right here.
Right there, you're right.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this really interesting little play between whether she's going to allow that hole under her or not. If she does, she can come down with Shell Kick, which is actually what she did right there. Mm-hmm. But there's still a hole. He is so smart in doing this. He cuts off, he recognized that Chris recognized that there's a hole there and presses Shell Kick to try to cut it off, but there was still a hole in between Shell Kick and where the fireballs were. So there are these little angles that you can get under, that you can get through, but Filipino champ in that case just wasn't taking it. So man, this is just ridiculous pressure against Dorm. Think about the Dorm matchup. He's only a threat if he's far away against Morrigan. Another character who was thought to be potentially a counter to him. If he gets spells up, he's good. If he gets the ability to do chaotic flame snipes, he's good. If he can set up teleport shenanigans with an assist, all that kind of stuff, but it requires space. So Chris G's solution is to get in there like crazy and just pressure. That was punishable by a chaotic flame if he hadn't done an X Vector. So the way to cut off Dorm, again, is to just throw these diagonal fireballs. Man, there's so many fireballs to talk about. He has these patterns where he throws double diagonal fireballs in the air, but he also has one where he throws the diagonal and then the horizontal one, right? Both of those kind of do different things. The one that is double diagonal is meant just as an approach. He approaches behind it, right? But the one that's the horizontal one is a way to cage you in at the same time. He can't really pressure you in the same way, but he can cage you, which is what the Dormammu fight is about for him. Like, I don't think that there's anything in these two matches so far that suggests that he plays lame. You know? I really feel like he goes in.
He attacked more than he defended in this.
Oh, for sure he attacked more than he defended. Yeah, no doubt. It's in part because of the individual matchups that are going on, but that's just kind of how he does it in general. What's up?
So I said the video.
Oh, that video lags? That's too bad.
Like, what do they mean by lagging? Like, how bad is it lagging?
Seems less laggy as soon as it gets to the player cams? Oh, that's weird.
That is really strange.
Oh, 10 frames per second? No.
Oh, it's playing slow.
Yeah.
I see. Because I think there's just too much action on the screen.
Oh, that could be,
yeah. So.
Yeah, we have this is downloaded. We're not just showing it from YouTube.
Yeah, this is downloaded.
I don't know. I mean, you want to take a break? We've been going for probably 15, 20 minutes now, so we can take like a quick stream restart and use it as a commercial break.
Do you want to actually try to restart it?
I guess.
Because, I mean, this happens every time we play a video. You know
that's
what I mean?
true.
I think it's just when we're playing a video at the same time that it causes the problem. So, let's finish this match off and just see if it looks any better.
Okay.
And then
we'll see what we can do.
Yeah. Oops.
Well, all right. We'll see what happens, I guess. So Filipino champ has this expression on his face like he has no idea what to do. But there were a couple of times in that match where he had better options than the ones that he took. You know, there was that time where he could have dashed under into a certain range that was safe for him to get to, but he just didn't recognize that. He didn't recognize the pattern that was being set up. You know what I mean? Like, if he had recognized it rather than jumping, he could have stayed on the ground. But instead, his reaction to the fireballs was to jump. This is just really unfortunate at the start. He got here. Can you start it up?
Yeah, I'm just trying to check out the lag.
Oh my god, that is awful. Yeah, we're watching the stream now. I'm sorry, that is super horrible. Yeah, it's not that. I mean, in that particular situation, while we get this crap sorted out. Somebody says he could have stayed on the ground and gotten shell kicked and doom missiled. I mean, that just depends on the situation. You have to identify, or you have to figure out what you're talking about. If we're talking about in general, that is a big deal. But it's a case by case thing. You have to be playing knowing what the opponent's options are at any one time and where you are on screen versus where he is on screen. Where Morrigan was at the time, that wasn't really a possibility. I mean, like I said, he jumped on reaction to when the fireballs were thrown, rather than staying on the ground and approaching in a way that was, potentially a little bit safer. So.
All right, let's try going again. Ready?
Yeah, like I said, if there's a hole under her, he comes down with shell kick when you move into that hole. He pressed shell kick, in fact, like I said, but there was still a hole in between shell kick and where the fireballs landed. That was not in the corner. He could have moved himself forward out of the corner and gotten a little bit of screen space for himself, but didn't do it. Okay. So anyway, are we going to try something new?
Yeah, we'll just keep going with this and see how, if it just looks bad to people here. You can see it over here, right?
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, I see.
Okay, it's looking okay right
It's looking a little bit better.
Yeah.
Let's start it over, though.
Okay.
I don't know, I guess we'll see. This might be something we'll just... Hopefully, like, the stream as it records it is not recording it all choppy.
Right.
So this sucks because Filipino champ has a potential kill for Morrigan right here and just screws up the tri-dash. Doesn't get the follow-up. But even if he had, he wouldn't have been able to kill. He has Phoenix, and he just can't spend the meter or the X-Factor to get the kill. He could have gotten a nice setup for himself, getting some spells going, that kind of stuff. But just unfortunately, with the screw-up, he never got it.
Okay, let me pause this real quick. I'm going to do one thing. And see if it'll help at all. So, sorry.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we're trying to figure out what's to do.
I don't think that'll make a big difference because it just seems like the flash media encoder is just going crazy Well, let me know how it looks on your screen as well. So.
I mean, it looks pretty crappy. I've been keeping an eye on it.
Okay, let me know if it looks any better right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, guys, this happens every time we try to play videos. Actually, it looks a little better.
Nah, it's kind of freaking out though.
Yeah.
You want to do a restart?
Sure. I don't think it'll help too much, but we can try.
Yeah,
okay.
Might as well. All right. Well, we're gonna take a quick restart. Hopefully, things will be back a little bit better than before, but do not count on it. All right. Well, hopefully things are going to be better right now. We did get, the suggestion from a few people, including Haladar, to try to put the video on Xbox and then stream from the Xbox, which is a pretty good idea. And we're going to try that out for next time, but we don't really have stuff set up for that this time.
Okay.
But a good call for the future. So hopefully things will be better now. We gave it a little bit of time. We'll see. This is a match that is the third in the losers final set, where Filipino champ has gone to the Dorm Doom, and Phoenix team has a huge chance right here, as you can see, to at least take off a chunk of Morrigan's life, get some meter for Phoenix. Probably even more important than both of those, though, to set up things like spells and some distance where he can actually get things going. So he flies up to the top of the screen. Can you actually start over a little bit? Just go back to some amount of time, whatever. Remember what I was talking about with Dorm before, how it's all about, for Morrigan, pinning him down. Well, so Filipino champ's solution to this is to go up into the air. But watch the patterns that were used right there, right? There was the horizontal one, and then immediately she dropped down and threw the two, through the diagonal one. And just watch how it makes him land. Right? It pushes him down in such a way that he has to drop down into the mix-up.
Right.
Going up to the top of the screen is nice because it gets you away from Chip for a little while. But as you land, he can set up whatever situation he wants, and he has a lot of different patterns and mix-ups to go for afterward. So again, he has the Soul Fist going at the bottom of the screen in the horizontal way, and as soon as that ends, he's able to set up again the classic pressure pattern into the shell kick, which is high, or the stand L, which is low. And you just got to guess if you're Filipino champ's Dormammu right there. Very similar situation for Doom. Very similar pressure fireballs, followed by the classic shell kick or stand light kick, and did not work out very well for Doom there. And Chris G, I don't think he really cares too much about getting the kill. It would have been nice, but not that big a deal. So he's at the top of the screen, but as he lands, he's landing into the horizontal ones. Right after that would probably have been something like the two diagonal fireballs, just like this, and the pressure right after that. I really feel now, after watching this and kind of looking at it more, that just going up into the air is not really that great a solution to what more is going on. We've already seen a couple of situations where there are these holes at the bottom of the screen as opposed to the top. That would be nice for him to find a little bit more. So now that Dark Phoenix is out, Chris G's goal is just kind of try to contain her. He's just trying to hope that he kills her, but if not that, just kind of wait out the X Factor, which he's doing a great job of. He has a great control team going for him, and as you saw before this, he didn't really care that Phoenix was coming out. He was still throwing fireballs, even though he was sure it was going to chip her and kill her and bring out Dark Phoenix. So Champ actually has a chance to do some good stuff here with the OTG, but he just misses it and gets blown up for it. And that's, as you see him react right there, I mean, that's what he's thinking about at the time, is dropping potential good stuff with Phoenix, but really the problem isn't that. That was just kind of the final cause. Before that, all sorts of situations of him going up into the air to try to avoid chip, but by doing that, putting himself into bad situations that allow Morrigan to get the pressure. The patterns that Chris is using now are not just about defensive options. They're not just about keep away and playing lane. They're about pressure, as we've seen. Him going on in with shell kick and standell, and finding ways to actually get in there and do that. So if you go to the top of the screen, what you're doing is staying away from the lameness part of it, if that's his goal. But instead, you're opening yourself up to the offensive part of Morrigan that Chris G uses really, really well in this set. I wish I had time to go through like the individual fireballs that he's doing. There are just too many to go through. But if you'll look closely at Morrigan as she's throwing them, and at the situations that the two characters are in, that the two teams are in, you'll notice that the ones that he sets up, that the patterns that he sets up, have some goal. I mean, when he throws the horizontal one followed by the diagonal one when he's in the air, when Dormammu's in the corner in the air, that has a very particular goal. When he's farther away and is just throwing like the light ground one, fly cancel into the H one across the screen, that has a very particular goal too. The diagonal one from the air has a very particular goal. There are all these like setups that he goes for that I really feel like people are not necessarily recognizing and reacting to. You could see in Filipino Champ's play there that his solution was just to get to the top of the screen. That was the solution at the start of More Doom, but it's just not anymore. Now it can leave you in some bad situations. So characters like Dorm that can fly above, that's not really it. I really feel like not even MODOK, unless it's just Morrigan herself, and not More Doom, is not really that great an answer to that either. I think that's not it. James, are you trying to figure out how to do the videos on the Xbox right now?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out.
Okay.
I feel like I'm getting close. So.
Yeah. See, I don't think it really does work for MODOK. I think that MODOK, when he falls down, is susceptible to the very same kind of things that Dormammu is. He's even wider than Dormammu is, and he falls into more. I don't feel like that's a long-term solution. I feel like the much better plan is to recognize what the patterns are, recognize what the goals of the patterns are, and react to where on screen she is, how far she can get in a dash to press shell kick before she has to land. That kind of thing. That is to say, to find the area between shell kick and fireball, as we saw in the first match, that will allow you to slowly approach. So, trying to figure this out?
Yeah, I think I'm getting close here.
Okay, I got the USB. Did I give you that?
Yeah, I have the USB right now.
Okay.
Download update.
Got to get an update though. Man, this is gonna take a little bit of work, huh? It's a really short download.
476 kilobytes, so it should be super fast.
Yeah, well, it's at 1% right now. Oh,
99%. There you go. Yeah. Okay.
Did you get the thing though?
Yeah, I have it in there.
Oh, you already do have it in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
look at this. Okay. I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to browse through this video. Oh, I can. Okay. Sweet.
Oh, that's so sick, dude.
Okay.
Okay. Let's get over there now.
Okay. Let's
get back to the game footage.
Let us do this.
Thanks for the idea. This is a good call.
Oh, I gotta do this. This works. This is gonna be the sickest thing. Dude, when you can't see it, it's so hard to put it in the hole.
Yeah, especially when you need to get it in there ASAP, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's tough. Tell me about it. Okay, let's see what we got.
Wow!
Dang.
Let's do this. Let's go. Yeah, there we go.
All right, which one was this?
This is the flocker one.
This is the flocker one? Oh, so sick.
So how does it look to people on stream? Does it look a lot better than before?
Dude, I'm watching on my own computer. It looks A-okay.
It looks beautiful.
It looks A-okay, man.
God damn, okay.
Oh, this is the best.
Who suggested that? Seriously, who was the guy who originally suggested that?
I believe it was Haladar?
Haladar?
Yep.
Dude, send us an email, ultrachentv@gmail.com, dude. Send it, because I gotta give you I gotta reward you for that one, dude. Seriously. Yeah. Okay.
This is pretty rad, right?
Okay. I'm gonna have a little less control over going backwards and forward and stuff like that, but...
So what are the two options?
Oops,
there's one that was like a million options. Or a million speed.
Right, so it's like skip back, there's like advance. Oh, I see how it works. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, if I tap it once, it goes forward times 2 times 4.
Okay.
Times 8.
Can you skip like a chunk?
Well, I mean, if I go like times 32, it's gonna go pretty far.
Yeah, that's true.
See, like that. So
right.
I go, learning how to use Windows. Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay.
Oh man, this is pretty great.
So do you want to just start from here then?
Let's take a break.
Okay. After all that, let's take a break.
Yeah, man.
that's major troll stuff. I'm down. Okay.
All right, we'll be back in a bit. Let's get Flocker's face up here.
Yeah, there you go.
Hope.
And now I can even get game audio a little bit.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, is it game audio? Or I guess it's the full like commentary plus game audio. That's pretty sick though. Anyway, so Flocker got to grand finals from winners bracket. Zero Virgil Hawkeye is the team he goes with. I think the previous time he played against Chris, he went Zero Virgil and Strider, or at some point I think he went with Strider at the end, which I definitely think is a better option, but doesn't go with that here. He has Zero Virgil and Hawkeye. So this is a very different matchup for Chris G. Zero. Zero is like he's all about the angles, right? He's all about the geometry of what his approaches can be. From the air, the down diagonal buster, or either the flat or the down diagonal or up diagonal lightning, right? He just has to take care of all those. So as you can see, the solution is to be just not in range. Like this is a much more lame one. So in fact, can you go back to the start and we'll look at it with that point of view? Wait, the lag is back? Nuh-uh. I mean, really?
It might have just been because I started the web pages up again. Now that they're all loaded, it might be okay.
Wow, it's just as bad as before, huh?
Hang on. Try it again.
Okay, well, we'll try it again, because apparently things were loading at the time. We'll see if it's any different.
The secrets of Chris G must be kept.
Yeah, really.
There you go. It's better. It's
better now? Yeah.
Oh, no, it's lagging again. Wow. Is it really just this videos? Marvel is too crazy?
I mean, maybe that is part of it.
Holy smokes, it is really laggy.
Oh, yeah, it is. I see that. Wow, I don't know, man. We might not be able to do this that well.
Is Marvel just too crazy?
Maybe it is the stream itself. Is there any way that you can not full screen it?
Yeah. I mean, I can...
Well, yeah, I guess you can do it on the stream itself.
I can do like that.
Okay, well, let's see if that makes any difference.
Sure. Let's put your lovely visage on there as well.
Oh, man, if we have to.
Do you not want to?
No. Let's get as few things going on as possible.
Okay, let's see what happens if I do this.
It's still choppy.
But it's better than it was before.
Yeah, at home, does that seem any better? It is better.
Yeah, it looks better than it was before. So let's try with that then.
Okay. All right. Well, let's start over then.
Okay.
All right. So, hold on a second. pause still. So having talked a little bit about how the Zero fight goes, once things have actually gotten started, let's talk about it a little bit at the start and remind you that Chris G's options or goal is just to control your options. So the best thing for him is to be right on top of Zero, blowing him up. So watch the pattern that he starts out immediately with. Bump, bump, right? It's the approach. As soon as you see it now, you should be saying, oh, it's approach. Right? As soon as you see this mid-range, down diagonal fireball, you should be saying to yourself, oh, he's going to fly cancel and air dash and follow it up. Which is exactly what happens. He was trying to put Zero into block stun. It didn't work out for him as he planned. But he gets away anyway, even though he got hit by lightning and could have died, but didn't. So Chris is just trying to stay away. He's trying to see how these fireballs are. They're just trying to cage as much as he possibly can. And yeah, he sets out the diagonal ones again as he was moving backwards. So okay, let's pause for a second and just talk about that for a sec. So there are these two down diagonal sets of fireballs that he can use. There's the first one when he's moving forward already, right? After which he air dashes in and does an S. But there's the one that happened just before this, which is full screen down diagonal fireballs. Let's go back and check that out for a second if we can.
How far back?
I think it was not that far. Yeah, let's try it. Just here is fine. We'll have to see. Yeah, I think it was here. Yeah, there it is. Right? Mm-hmm. So just like that. That's just meant as a way to open up astral vision. And unfortunately, Flocker's reaction to it was to throw a fireball, which was exactly what Chris G was hoping that he would do. If he throws fireball there, it doesn't do anything except for occupy his character for a period of time, not allowing Zero to move forward and get in or be a threat of any kind. This is one of those situations where I think that if the player better recognized what the option Chris G was going for was, what the setup was about, that he would be able to react better to it. With something like, Zero has a few movement options in the air that can get him through. Instead, he just throws out the fireball, and things do not work out super well for him. And now he's got to deal with just Hawkeye at the end. His character with his floaty jump has decent projectiles, but not really of the kind that can keep toe-to-toe with Morrigan. And she's just trying to get out of there. She can actually follow that up, but he doesn't get it. Oh, man, saved by missiles again. Ridiculous. So she is dead, yeah, as you can see. But that's not that big a deal for him. I mean, Hawkeye does blow up Doom, but with no X Factor left and both Doom and Virgil behind, it's going to be a really, really, really tough time for Flocker. Does not work out. And that is the first game. Now, there were a couple times there where if Flocker had better recognized what was happening, he might have been able to react a little bit differently, and maybe things could have gone better against Morgan. Stream still doing okay?
Yeah, it's doing fine, but I'm just speeding through. So now it's going to look choppy to people. That's only because I'm fasting it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm speeding it up. So here we go. Start again.
Okay, so very similar start for Chris. Starting off with the setup for Astral. Zero had, I think he had Sugenma going at the time. Plus the Hawkeye assist means that's not really going to be a safe setup, as you saw, and it wasn't. But right back to this very, very offensive pressure. He has Zero in the corner. He's trying not to let him go. Doesn't want to deal with the fact that Zero has all these mid-range options that can, in a lot of cases, lead to big, big damage. Playing defense still with oh, I just pressed start.
Oh.
Wow, I gotta move my legs away from that, huh?
Yeah. It's okay, next time I do this, I won't have the joystick plugged in anyway. So.
Right. Well, that's cool. It's a good look. It's good to know. So he tried to go under the two diagonal fireballs right there, but went a little bit too far. And people were talking about earlier how if you go under her fireballs, she'll just land with S. And that's true, but you have to understand the ranges. So let's go back to just before he dies. You see, he did it right there?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He went under. I mean, he had a chance for a little bit, right? He actually had that chance. Right, so he recognizes what's going on, has the chance, didn't work out, so he has to back off, which is not that great for him. But then, the very same situation, and he unfortunately goes a little bit too far in and got caught by the shell kick, and that gets him blown up. But as you can see now, I mean, as we'll see later, Flocker plays Morgan pretty well, actually, so I'm sure he does understand what's going on, and he took advantage of it one of those times. So unfortunately, the second time he went in a little bit too much. Virgil, don't care about this, blah blah blah. Yeah, alright. And that's that. X Factor time drained, unfortunately, but whatever, you gotta do what you gotta do. And now Doom just trying to be lame. Yeah, as you can see, I don't really care about what's going on right now. I'm waiting for Morrigan to get back in.
You want me to fast through or just...
I mean, whatever. Yeah, I guess, sure. Actually, I'm not sure that Morrigan does come back in.
Doom's about to die.
Oh yeah, no, he sets it up right here.
Oh,
so Morrigan comes in, yeah. And X Factors, which is really smart. I don't know if you've seen this. Actually, I think I broke it down one time, but you can actually get behind that. You can get behind. You can teleport behind those the Doom finger lasers right there and hit her. So he X Factors try to make sure that he gets out in time. Which was a smart man. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's a hole back there, but he X Factored, so he cut out the hole. And that's going to be that.
Oh, and he hit Hawkeye there, too.
Yeah. That was just a crappy assist call. And I'm sure he recognized. Alright. 0 Virgil and Hawkeye still in there. Again, Chris G just throwing fireballs at the start in a way that will allow him either to set up offense if he can make Flocker block, or if not, it pushes Flocker away in such a way that he can get some escape. Goes back in case of the roll, which is exactly what happens. And then, the pressure fireballs come out. The full screen ones meant just to kind of cage him at the bottom there. Man, those missiles saved Chris G so many times, but that is what happens. That's why they're there. So now Virgil, this is the first time that we really get to see Morrigan spend a lot of time against Virgil himself, and he has definitely different options than Zero does. He doesn't really have the same kind of mid-screen things, especially when he's in the air. More of a ground threat at that kind of range, and so you can see Chris G is going more to the air, throwing these fireballs to cover himself in exactly that kind of way. Again, it's those down diagonal ones are the key in a bunch of situations. From far away, they're the defense one. From closer in, they're the setup of the offense. Okay, she's dead. Which means I don't care about this game anymore.
Does Flocker win this one?
No. He gets 6-0'd.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he got blown up.
So skip this one then?
Yeah, I mean, as I recall, he did have a chance to win this game. I think that might be this game. Actually, a couple of these games, he has some chances.
Yeah.
He missed lightning loops on one of them. He missed like a Virgil air grab to just like the dash L, So there's a lot of hand wringing on this one.
I'll say, jeez.
Yeah. Oh, now everybody can see who's on your friend list.
Nice.
Is this where he goes with Morrigan, or is that... I guess that's the second set. Yeah, so it's 0 Virgil Hawkeye still. And Chris G trying to set up the far... I'm surprised he didn't go for the Astral there. Maybe he just didn't think that Flocker would be immobile still, or maybe he didn't expect the grab. So X Factor, which means he needs to get the kill, or else it's just a huge waste of resources. And he just didn't get that lightning. That has got to kill you, man. So now Morrigan... in what is basically her wheelhouse, is doing just fine. She has red life back from the X Factor, expects to be able to control the situation, and that's a really smart dash right there by Flocker as the missiles were just about to come down. So smart stuff. And Chris G just kind of closing off the screen. That's what those down diagonal fireballs are meant to do. They're kind of the variation, well before this, on the defensive version where he tries to get Astral Vision going. In that kind of situation, it's just really meant to limit movement options. So he sets up the classic one at the start, expecting that Zero would remain on the ground. Not what happened. Flocker understands. He goes into the air at the right time, which is really smart of him. And again, just caging off the screen. I really like Zero actually against her. Like I feel like that's just after watching how Flocker played this in some of the situations. I feel like that's a pretty good option. He can really neutralize fireballs in a lot of ways. I wonder if people could hear that.
I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll find out. So Morrigan has to get hard tagged out. Virgil, I don't really care that much. No. Wow, he gets jump H. Crazy. Oh no! Stuff happens. What? They could hear it. Nice. Kelly playing League in the dungeon. Well, whatever. I mean, whatever, man. Like, the point is pretty much made, I think, at this point. Like, we probably don't need to keep playing all these games. Point is basically, she has patterns. You got to recognize what they are if you hope to play against her. I really like seeing Flocker play because aside from one time in the first game where he throws the fireball in reaction to the defensive setup, he seems to really understand. And after this, you see him pick Morrigan himself, and he actually does pretty well with it. So I like that. Not necessarily do I like the pick of Morrigan, but I think it's really smart to learn how Morrigan does things. You saw, or maybe you saw, that Filipino champ has been trying to get people to play Morrigan over at the FGTV house.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a really important thing to be able to play and get experience against a certain team, but also to just play it. Yeah, sure. Might as well switch. Yeah, whatever. Okay. This game's over. Huh?
Oh, nothing. Okay. Ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. There you go. So you're back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, the point is just you need to understand what these patterns are. When you see her full screen and she throws the 2 diagonal down fireballs, understand that she can't throw any more fireballs until she lands. So that's kind of a time where you can move in. Don't throw a fireball in reaction to that. It's just not going to get you anywhere. If you see her throw the 2 fireballs at mid-range and you see how far she's dashed, you got to understand how far she can get before she presses shell kick and lands, and understand how big that hole is in between those two. Those are just kind of things that people are going to need to start figuring out. Flocker had a couple of situations where he did understand those things, and he used them pretty well. I feel like Filipino champ didn't really get what was going on as well as Flocker has, and maybe that's because Flocker has been playing Morrigan himself, and maybe he's understanding what's going on through that direct experience. And I think that's probably why Filipino champ is trying to get other people to try her out, and why he's trying her out himself, to understand what or where her holes are, understand what the patterns are, and what the problems are with each pattern, because they're not foolproof. They're not perfect setups. They in many cases do have little things that you can do to get through. People are talking about, all through the chat, when or which characters are counters to Morrigan, that kind of stuff, and everybody has their own list. Somebody said, what do I think about Triforce's team, where he mentioned Thor? I actually think that Thor is a good team, or a good character. My own personal team, if I were to pick, would be Dormammu, Thor, and Doom. You saw how Chris G had to play against Dormammu, right? And against Doom too, he played like this. It's the very pressure-heavy kind of situation, because he knows that if Doom gets away, he can set up, or that shell can set up great things like spells, and chaotic flame snipes, and get the assist going, maybe get an assist snipe, all sorts of good stuff, teleport setups, all that. Those are all really good reasons for Morrigan to approach. But if she were to approach against a team that has Thor as one of its assists, Thor's alpha counter is really good. It's an invincible alpha counter that moves him forward, results in a ground bounce, and you can get a lot of damage off of it, or the kill, depending on how much meter, or whether you want to do a reset, or whether you want to do X Factor. Any one reset, X Factor, or 2 meters will kill after that. So depending on what resources you have, that's what I would do. I would have this team that wants to be distance, so Chris G wants to go in, but for going in, on any shell kick or stand ally block, I can do an alpha counter and blow him up for it. When I first suggested that, people said, well, the screen is full of fireballs, but that's not the case, as we saw, right? I mean, once you get an understanding of the patterns, you understand That's not really the case. His pressure patterns are often the same. They're the 2 diagonal down fireballs. They're the dash and shell kick afterward. And then he has a great high-low. And he calls missiles such that after the fireballs hit, even in some cases after the shell kick hits, he has the missiles then hit. So he gets another chance with shell kick and the low. But yeah, if you block shell kick, what I would do is just alpha counter Thor and blow her up. So that's my own idea. But I think that Thor does pretty well on his own against her. He can move around with Mighty Strike, which is projectile invincible, and he can stall up in the air if that's what you need to be doing at the time. His beam will take out Soul Fist. So I think he does okay, but he's definitely not the main part of the team. He's just there for the assist. Well, again, everybody has their own idea, but the biggest thing, in my opinion, is just to understand what the patterns are. Take the time to look at what he does, not to just look at it as lame fireball throwing, because it's not. It's in many cases very pressure heavy, and it's full of individual setups and patterns that all have identifiable goals. So, all right, that's it for Level 2 Focus for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow for the Tuesday show, talking about whatever is timely and stuff. Any ideas what you want to talk about?
There's so many things going
There
on.
are a lot of things to talk about. It should be an eventful show. A lot of stuff going on lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of random drama.
There is a lot of random drama, for sure. So I'm sure we'll get into some of it. I don't know if we want to get into all of it, but anyway, that'll be tomorrow at 8 p.m. Pacific time. So we'll sign off for tonight, and we'll see you then.
Alright. Oops, hang on a second, sorry. There you go.